And she takes a step back away from you. You had no right! You cheated. You lied.
It was not your business to die for our story.
It's not your choice to make!
But I made it.
She has like a single tear go down. You didn't even ask. You didn't even try. You just did it.
You are alright. But you would have said no, and you would have died.
I would have died fighting for something.
You probably wouldn't have been fighting, it probably would have just killed you almost instantly. It wouldn't be a fight, it'd be a slaughter.
What's your AC?
21. 21. No. She just catches the hands.
Another energy racing and you just walk over shield and it just explodes harmlessly. You don't know that.
I have more than enough experience to say with 99% confidence that's what would have happened.
Tala, in the end, we all die fighting for something, but most of the time, it's just for our life. You'll have plenty of other chances to go in nobly, willing and able to die, but with better odds on your side.
She's looking down at the ground.
There's no need to throw yourself into certain death.
Seema, you have the most proper training of everyone here besides myself. Did your mother just throw you into the pits with the lions when you were still learning?
No. She made sure that I wasn't in battle until I was ready.
As did my master of stories. It's the job of the mentor to tell the pupil when they are ready. You were not ready then, but you are ready now.
Roll me a persuasion check. Or deception, if it's applicable.
Ooh.
She just looks away from you.
I'll give him my inspiration to reroll that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll it then. Better. If I get chunk. Tali just looks away from you. And a tear.
I do not know if you were still as foolish as the day I met you, or if you're just willfully ignorant. But there's nothing wrong with knowing your limits.
I could have still helped.
Okay, that is enough. Listen here, girl. You would have not helped, you would have got in the way, and you would have put other people at risk.
She gives you like a straight-faced look. She's only half listening, you can tell. The other half of her mind seems boggled, clouded, blurred. She didn't say anything, though. You've seen this expression before, Marshall and Seema. It's an expression of what-ifs. This is particularly prevalent amongst people about to go into a fight. Or those coming out of one. Survivors have a lot to think about. And those potentially approaching their deaths have similar thoughts. An infinite amount of scenarios that could go right or wrong. And then just as infinite amount of responses to every situation going right or wrong.
Shadamir sits down so that she's like eye to eye with Tala.
You're not. She immediately looks away from you.
I don't care.
Patronizing.
She doesn't mean it patronizingly, but it
Where's
is.
the how to talk to short people meme?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't mean it that way, but it definitely is. You can always think of 1,000 new ways that a scenario could have been different. You can always think of 1,000 new ways that you can change something in the future. And that doesn't matter, as long as you learn. Oh, fuck. Garth is bad with speeches.
When it translates to Chedamir doing the same thing.
Yeah. What matters is here and now. And right now, you're alive and you can figure out how to help people in the future better. If you have went through that, I can think of 1,000 ways you could have died. I could have think of 1,000 ways you could have not died somehow during that and also helped us. But that's unimportant. Beating yourself up about every possible little fallacy that you make up only detriments yourself.
I'm not beating myself up over it. She gives like a wicked look at you. Wicked gaze, that's the word.
If you're looking for an apology from him, I doubt you're going to find it.
She shakes her head. She turns and leaves.
I look at Marshall. That's good channeling of energy from. I think that she'll make a good paladin yet.
She is very vengeful.
There's a lot of potential.
She walks to like the tree line that surrounds your guys' little camp.
Marker.
She doesn't walk into the tree, she just walks to the tree line.
Yeah, and
Alright. And you do see Owen go up to her. You guys don't hear what they say, but they're talking. Yep.
it's their conversation.
She's fine. She needs to grow up. She's no longer a girl.
And that's why she wants to fight.
You need to teach her how to pick her battles.
That's going to be one of the hardest lessons.
Mm-hmm. Also, my foot still fucking hurts.
Grow up.
That was a hell of a stomp. Are you shitting me? Anyways.
It's like Dead Space stomp.
I just
Yeah.
as he's saying it, I say, "I'll grow up." And just cast Cure Wounds.
Cast it with a highest level spells like you guys just deflect.
9th level
Yeah.
Cure Wounds.
You reflex on a guy and heal him so much that they shut up forever. Yeah, me too.
That's automatic because I have a +5, so you're definitely automatically
Yeah.
back to full.
Healed our mouth shut.
Fun fact as a side note, if you get healed too much in the plane of positive energy, you actually die.
Yeah, that's what's up.
You loop back around.
If you get more than your HP in healing, because you can overheal, you just straight die.
That is
Oh, I had that mechanic earlier.
in video games. That's called a stack
Pretty good.
overflow.
So happened to
Anyways,
Gandhi and Civ, whichever.
Yeah.
Just all
He became so democratic that he became a warmonger.
evil. Yeah.
Anyways,
Alright. Anything else you guys want to do?
Hey, Chetamir, can you help me with something here?
I can certainly try.
I think
Hey,
I'm.
I just want to say, you really should have asked this before you stomped at Chamber's foot.
Yeah, I hear
But it's great.
her.
You heal her, that's true.
Chetamir and
Yeah.
I.
Go on.
It does say something that my very first instinct was just immediately. That's
Break her
cool.
toe.
She's used to pain.
Yeah.
It's the whole.
You healed her
she's
back
not-
up. It's bygones
She's
be
not
bygones.
super fragile. I won't accidentally
Oh,
actually
okay.
hurt her, but like,
Easy
it
clap.
also won't feel dangerous like with Marshall or Aldrich.
Oh.
Yeah, remember Chetamir Punch Party?
Hell yeah.
That's your punch party.
Oh, that's precious.
I need your. I could use your earring, but more than that, I think I could use your experience as a ranger.
Alright.
I'm realizing more and more as we're getting into these battles that I'm not always going to be able to keep Coin out of the fight,
Mhm.
and I want her to be able to defend herself and us if it comes down to it.
You see, you guys are having this conversation as Edgar and Coin are playing together. And it's basically Edgar holding a very large stick, flying very far away and high, and then dropping it, and Coin catches it midair.
That's precious.
I love it. I also like knowing that part of that is Edgar being like, haha, I have heightened intelligence now.
I know.
Yes.
I have a pet now.
When your pet's so smart, they have a pet.
Like in Neopets when you can keep pets.
Basically.
Anyways,
Yeah, go on. My bad.
Anyways,
so what avenue do you desire me to assist on it? Like, just help them be hardier, make them more evasive so they don't die instantly, like Edgar?
I think we need to, first of all, just teach her commands, but then yes, over long term, training her physically so that she has the strength to defend herself as it comes down to it.
Yeah, that, especially with the airing of animal communication, that shouldn't be terrible.
Wait, time out. I don't remember who was present when I made this comment, but I did mention at some point, I'm not sure if you were there or not, Taryn, I honestly don't remember.
I do remember this. I think I know what
Yeah.
you're doing. Continue.
The Keplins does have well, not the Keplins, but people of the faith do have something of a... You ever heard of a foo dog? It's like Asian culture. It's basically it's a guardian of faith and justice and prosperity. They're really common decorations. Someone look up a picture of a foo dog, F-O-O. But anyways, the point I was trying to make is that people of the faith, particularly down in the Keplins, there is a... yeah, there you go.
Chow chow.
Yeah. There is a holy K9 division, so to speak. There's a creature, I forgot what the name of it was. It's somewhere in Volo, something like that. Which is what this would be based off of. Chinese time, yeah. In which is basically a guardian of faith. And I would say that, like, blessed, quote unquote, clerics in their own right, animals, do exist in the Keplins and such. If you wanted to pursue a more holy avenue for a coin.
I want to. I want to have a
This
god
conversation never happened.
Well, there's more. Out of game. There's multiple avenues you could take of. There's obviously a Fey way. Rhymes.
Nah.
But I'm not a rapper. There's just a general magic way. There's a holy way. There's a bunch of avenues you guys could take of coin.
I want her to be my holy companion.
Okay. I just want to make that note. I mentioned it at some point, and I wasn't sure if you're. I guess not.
It was after a session like a month ago, so.
Yeah, well, it's super helpful.
If you want to get some basic training in, I have something that will involve all of us. Aldrich would make, let's see...
You would have to commune with a goddess. Or god or goddess. Particularly one specific goddess, if you want to be really specific. But... Oh, I found it immediately. I opened up the page.
Hell yeah.
It's called a Kiri. It's sort of like a unicorn. But it's like not a unicorn. It is a unicorn.
Aldrich would bring 6 heavy sticks. Like clubs, essentially, into the camp. And
I swear to God, if you make coin the equivalent of Sith the dog from Dark Souls, I swear to God, I'm gonna smite all of you.
No.
Good.
And he would hand us one stick to Seema, one to Chedemir, one to Marshall, and one to Tala. And then he would take 2 himself.
Tala's not taking part in this group activity.
She's having an emotional breakdown.
All right,
she and Owen are having very specific... You can give it an Ed. Or Danaway.
Sure. I'll give it to Danaway. She'll enjoy this. And then I'll take 2 myself. And before I do that, I will blindfold myself. And I will say, I'm tired of being shit in a fight where I can't see. Hit me as hard as you can.
Danaway just looks at you.
I just wait for Marshall to swing.
Aldrich, I don't think it's how it works.
This whole time, Marshall would just be like staring at Shax intently, just like sitting down crisscross, just staring at him, and be like, "Ah, you wish to learn the Atapathe fighting style."
Sure.
Shax is like taking a nap. Who makes the first? Let he who is about to cast the first strike.
Honestly, Chedemir assumes that Venedus is gonna intervene in some method. So
I stone for him and say, "Lay it on me."
Seema does like a very restrained hit.
Does it?
Are we
Does a 20 hit?
proficient?
I don't know Aldrich's AC.
It is a simple weapon, a club.
Okay, so there.
What's your AC?
Does it 20? Does it 20 hit?
Let's see. My AC would be in without the shield, which is it would be 19.
Okay.
So a 20 does it. So
A
all
giant
these are
orc
hitting.
or just you with a stick in your hand when it's hand.
Oh my God.
Marshall.
Just like watching Marshall beat the shit out of him, just like
It's like a pinata of rock.
Nevi is just over like she was like hanging out with Danaway and like they're like doing like some javelin chucking and now she's like going to grab her medic kit. Just seeing this onslaught. It's hilarious. Every time you're trying to block something, Aldrich, and then suddenly another attack comes from out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Okay.
and whenever I get struck, I will attempt to retaliate.
Okay, yeah. Marshall wouldn't hit you. He would just let Shax do it.
Shaq's just gonna stomp his ass to death.
Yeah, that's essentially what happened. Oh yeah, strength save to not be knocked prone.
Classic.
Pass.
I believe that passes. I don't know what the DC is. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's like 14
Yeah,
or
no,
something.
that passes.
Static number DCs are always fucking low. I hate them.
This is how I learned. It should help you as well.
This is mostly suicidal.
Okay, bearing in mind what I took from Remus earlier, that puts me at a 30-something.
Ooh.
Don't worry, Nevi's here.
36.
3d6
Alright,
plus
hit me again.
7. Go 13. One syringe down. A bunch more to go. Hope we don't get any combat today.
She was like rolling her eyes at this scene in front of her.
Jenimir is waiting with like her shield to block anything that seems like exceptionally dangerous from Shax. AKA, like, can I take the dodge action to assist? Oh no, it'd just be called the help action, wouldn't it?
It would be called the help action.
Yeah.
If I hear Chedamir approach me, I will whack at Chedamir.
Eh? Go ahead, I have 21 fucking AC and you're blind.
What if he crit hits you though?
I really want him to get 2 natural 20s, honestly.
It's proficiency plus strength, right? 'Cause
It would be
it's-
strength.
Yeah.
You know,
Because the club.
a club is not a finesse weapon. I know. It's hard to believe, really, but that's just how they designed it. I know.
So 14 because it's disadvantage.
Yes.
Nah.
No, swings wide.
She's mostly there. She'll let it go down, but she's mostly there to like, okay, this looks like it's about to fucking kill him. No.
It's fine.
I'm going until I'm unconscious.
No, you're not.
Let's see.
How many rolls does Shax make against the blind man?
Yeah, as he's just getting beat with this onslaught, Marshall would just be having his eyes closed with you, like, don't react. Wait. You will likely not dodge the attack, so let it hit you and react then.
I will try that.
So,
18.
yeah, 18. Doesn't hit. I think, right?
Not hit.
19?
No, 19.
It does.
What
We'll
is-
say for narrative's sake, it does hit you, but you do have stone form. So therefore, it doesn't hurt you. As Shax charges, you feel one of his horns, you hear it too, scrape against your stone form as you take a step away from it. Just as a response to turning into it. Henri is looking at all this, like, really confused. And she comes up to you, Chedamir, just sort of trying to dodge around Shax's charging. What the fuck are you guys doing?
I don't know.
Like, this is pretty fucked up. You're literally beating down on a blind man.
I'm not. I'm trying to make sure he doesn't get run over by an orc.
I think you already failed that, then.
Lethally run over by an orc.
The Etapate style is not an easy one to learn.
Just charging going on constantly. You should be careful not to tire the beast out too much. You still have to travel. I trust your judgment as his handler. I'm just saying, we still have to travel.
Aurochs have the more stamina than any warhorse.
She holds up quaking hands. I trust your judgment. I was just making a comment. Speaking of which, we really should be packing up. As amusing as this is, stopping going on, is to watch.
We should head out.
Oh man, my internet cut out or I would roll.
One last roll. For
My
Shax.
internet cut out.
You want me to roll for you?
Yeah, roll for it.
I'm just gonna copy the exact same formula. 2d20 DL1 plus 7. It's a 14, mate.
Got a 7 and a natural 1. Jeez.
That's rough, buddy.
It is rough. It's pretty fitting for my rolls. I think, personally. Audric, you managed to not get hit further, at least. But yeah, again, eventually, time to get stepping. Hit the old dusty trails,
Trotting.
as they say. Time to get trotting. Aye.
This is still day 1, isn't it?
This is still day 1.
Oh god.
Expediting.
We're gonna.
Moving forward.
There's one last thing that needs to happen.
Well, Chedamir also wanted to dissect the things, and I never rolled for that.
Jerksy.
Roll it now, then.
What would it be?
Alchemist supplies.
Okay. Nope.
You don't know how void creatures work, and you feel like you might need to dig into how creatures of the void work before just digging into one.
Yeah. The samples
no
weren't great
fundamental
anyways,
basis.
so...
I realize I don't know how normal creatures work. Why would I think I know how void creatures
How
work?
does a chicken work?
Without its head.
That's a very good point.
Anyway.
Meme of
Chickens-
black guy touching the side of his head.
Oh,
Chickens are void creatures.
That's interesting. I wonder. I need to look into why that is now, because I've always heard that, but I've never.
It's true though. Like it's been well documented. You can cut off a chicken's
Oh
head.
yeah,
and keep
I've,
running.
I've
Because
seen it
they're-
happen.
Their
person.
brainstem stays intact, like a lot of the times if you do it wrong.
It doesn't do anything.
So their brain...
I wonder. I wonder if
If
there's
you
an
do it right,
elongated
rather.
brainstem.
Moving. Look up your nurture on your own time. AK right now.
Yep.
There's one last thing that I need to do. As you guys mount back up on your horses or auroch or cart or wagon or whatever,
Or walk like a sulking little gnome.
or walking like a sulking little gnome.
I thought she was a
who-
halfling.
No,
Yeah,
she's a
but she's
gnome.
acting like a sulking little gnome.
But she is a gnome.
Oh, she is?
She is a gnome.
Damn.
Yeah.
I missed that
Y'all
memo
come-
too.
You guys are missing the racial memo here. Moving on, though. Just by circumstance or whatever, we'll say just for fucking narrative's sake, I haven't chill. You and Henri are sitting up front, Chenemir, and she's just sort of either you or her. Probably you. Let's be honest. You're actually this is
Probably.
your cart, or you're the one holding the reins to the horses, and she's just sort of looking over her gear, just in an idle manner.
My cart.
And she sort of twiddles like an arrow, one of the fancy arrows. Those the one that arrowheads between your fingers. So I think you wanted to ask me a while ago before we went to Delveros about a certain tribe.
Yeah. It's something that caught my attention.
You still want to know?
Yeah. I think it's
I
important
gotta
for
ask-
everyone to know.
Well, it's a good thing everyone's in earshot then. But I gotta ask, why do you want to know? Like, really?
It's a name, and I want to know what the people that had it before us were like. What they stood for, how they acted. It's a name we should continue on with. I think it is. But I'd
Well,
like
that
to-
depends entirely on you. I assure you that you don't want to end up like either of what became of them.
Hmm.
So, Nevros story time for you provincial folks. Well, mostly provincial, and she gestures to Audric and Evie. Once upon a... I'm just kidding, I'm not doing that.
Hmm.
Long time ago, there were two tribes. You might know them, Donalis and Oxalis. I don't really know much about Donalis myself, if I'm being honest. And to be even more honest, Noxalis is not my best subject, but I know enough. Surely if you've taken up the name Noxalis, you know that a while ago people would sort of steal the name themselves. As a guise. An alias. Deceptive work, really. Which is saying something. Because us Nevros, we don't particularly favor deception. If we don't like someone, we'll be way up in it. If tribes fight, there's no sneaky assassin work going on usually. Scouting, sure, scouting's fair game. But assassin work? Or lying to get into the midst of another tribe? She shakes her head. It doesn't happen. So you can imagine what it is like for Noxalis if people use their names and kill under it. So the name Noxalis sort of died out, but the people didn't. From there, well, I have two different legends for that. Nevi is listening to this intensely. You see out of the corner of your eye. It seems that even she has gaps in her knowledge. There are two rival factions, I suppose, tribes. They go by different names in Nevros, obviously, but in provincial common, it's translated as the Dusk Striders and the Wind Scent. You don't want to be associated with the former. The fact that you're sitting next to can't be associated with the latter.
I'm sorry, you cut out there for me a second.
What did you last hear?
Don't want to, and then you cut out.
You don't want to be associated with the former, and you can't be associated with the latter. Since you're sitting next to me right now. According to legend, at least.
Why can't you be associated with the latter?
Well, supposedly they're dead. They come and go like the wind they're named after. They'll show up out of nowhere. And she holds out this, grandiose, theatric hand out of nowhere. And they'll go. She snaps just as quick. People say that they are what's left of what the real Noxalis were. Swooping in out of nowhere to save people. From the Dusk Striders or from whatever. I don't personally believe it, but that's what the legend goes. The Dusk Striders, on the other hand, are no legend. They quite exist. And they're not pleasant.
Where do they operate from?
I don't know. We don't operate out of anywhere. We're Nevros. We were nomadic. And the Dust Striders are the worst of the worst. It's an insult, actually, to be called a Dust Strider. At least in Nevros lands. I'm not sure about down here. To be a Dusk Strider, they're just honorless. Supposedly, they're the people that took the names Noxalis and Donalis and used them honorlessly. Supposedly. But how to describe this? Many provincials see Nevros as heresy. Aye? You would agree with that, to some degree, right? I'm not saying whether you believe it or not, but that's definitely a stereotype, aye? The Dusk Riders are heretics to us. Blasphemers and heretics even to us. So I suppose that should tell you a lot about how we find them.
be interesting.
And the worst part is, I heard they never die, and they never lose.
You hear Older curse from nearby and he would ask loudly, "Do you know what this doesn't happen to be connected to a word, Mesicala?"
The word Mesicala came before them. I assure you of that. But the two go hand in hand, no doubt. It's very weird. The legends, well, one bit less legendary, but they only lose to the Winstant. But the Winstant are not a constant force. So, I suppose, they're undefeatable. Unkillable.
And the Dusk are still around, but the Winsents, no one's heard of them in ages.
No, they still show up,
Okay.
supposedly. That being said, I don't exactly live in the north. In the Weald, so... She shrugs.
It's not your field of expertise.
It's not my field at all. Literally. So that's what I know about Noxalis and what came of.
Oh, yeah.
Ever heard of the Shadow Man?
I have heard lots of stories about him.
Does he connect to any of this? Do you know?
She shakes her head. Not that I'm aware. Not that I've heard. Although, I can certainly see similar themes in the stories. Unkillable bastards doing heretical things.
Well, if you ever do learn how to kill one or him, let us know. Thanks.
I'm not gonna bother venturing for that. That's what we have people like you all for. And she points the tip of the arrow at you, Jennifer.
So
And she puts it away.
I think we're gonna invoke ire of this group if we keep going around saying we're Noxalis, or do they simply not care?
I don't think they care about what anyone does.
I mean, I don't think it would stop me anyways, but...
Yeah, what are they gonna do about it, even if they do?
They're in the north. They're not anywhere down here and going south.
I would keep my eyes open.
When were they?
Do what you want. Do what you want.
No, if I were you, I would keep my eyes open.
Me?
All of you. They're not as far north as you think.
Henri doesn't say anything. She just leans back and puts her hands behind her head. Pull down her hood a bit. Ian's taking a nap, essentially.
Just be safe.
So, anything else? Or shall I fast forward us to Sevlis? At long last!
Just one
Fast
thing.
forward button.
Just
Yes?
Chenry would ask Nevi if either of those names sound familiar to her.
She has never heard of either of them. That's why she was so intently listening.
That's what I thought. Nothing in our life is allowed to be simple.
Of course not.
There's one thing, but I don't need a scene for that. I'll just send you a message, Crash.
Okay.
So you feel free to skip ahead.
We're gonna take like a 5-minute break.
Sure.
So
I'll get some
She
more.
has turn away to the restroom. Now would be the time to bust out the drinks if you're our drink, which you might not be. I don't know. I don't care. I do care.
I am 2 beers in, way ahead of you.
Okay, good enough.
Pre-gaming it.
But what is it? Before I use the restroom myself, what is it you wanted to do?